Hello, um, my name is Rachel Hanikowski. I am a fifth-year student at Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick, in the Beausejour riding, where Peter Mansbridge is the university chancellor, and Dominic LeBlanc has been reinstated as the local MP. Um, I don't know if the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will ever watch this video, but if he does, Justin, I am now speaking directly to you. The election coverage for 2015, it's October 20th, and everything has just concluded on CBC with Peter Mansbridge, and I have watched this campaign unfold over the past 79 days, I think it was. And I'm 22 years old. I don't know a lot about politics, I guess, in contrast to some of my peers here at university. But it is your campaign and this election period in particular that has gotten me really interested and fascinated and empowered by politics and my ability to make a difference and the ability of my peers and my neighbors to make Canada a better country. Today was the first day of my life that I was able to vote. Today is the last day that Stephen Harper will be Prime Minister. Of course, it'll take a couple days for him to phase out of office, but I think it's worth noting that he started his political career in '93, and that is the year that I was born. And so for the fact that I am now able to vote him out was a big deal for me. I'm sending you this video today because I wanted to bring up some points to you that I think are very, very important for Canada and that I wanted to make sure were being heard. First of all, I'm going to talk about advocacy for persons with disabilities in Canada. I'm going to talk about what it means to be a hardworking Canadian, despite class or ability or race or citizenship or any of that. And I'm going to talk about the values of what it means to be Canadian and the fact that I am so grateful that my values are your values. First of all, I wanted to say that I really hope that we change our electoral system in this country so that it doesn't remain that a Prime Minister can be elected with 39% of the majority vote. Or of the total vote, sorry. I think it's really important that we adopt the representative type of electoral system so that it can become a more fair process for all parties involved, and it can be more clear for Canadians who are taking part in the voting process for the first time. Second of all, I'm a person with a disability. I have cerebral palsy, and some days it's really hard for me to get up and walk. I have a lot of mobility difficulties, and of course this isn't helped by the difficult winters that we have in Canada. I wanted to bring your attention to the serious need for a lack of overhaul of the infrastructure of social service programs in this country, especially those for people with disabilities. Currently, there's a tax-free savings account program, much like a savings plan for retirement or education that persons with disabilities can invest into. But this money can't be accessed until middle age, and the funds are meant to be used for retirement. I need to be able to invest in programs and in funding that is going to help me in the immediate future. I'm faced with living in a country where, despite being for accepting of difference, I'm discriminated against on a daily basis as soon as I leave my university community, where the majority of members are very accepting. I think that we need an overhaul of understanding that minorities in this country are not just made up of the elderly and First Nations, although those are honorable minorities, as are women, that need to be respected and honored and looked at in special consideration at all times. Persons with disabilities need to be recognized more, and their needs need to be recognized more. We are so far behind our allies, especially the United States, in terms of disability policy. And I think that the provincial policy through British Columbia is something to look at in terms of where Canada needs to go in terms of adopting federal policy that is going to empower persons with disabilities. I think that we need to adopt a better Medicare program for persons with disabilities and create a program that is very similar to the retirement program that we have for seniors in this country, whereby persons with disabilities are supported with a basic income as soon as they reach working age. I have a lot to contribute to the world, and I'm very smart, but sometimes I'm not able to get up in the morning, and I'm in a lot of pain, and there is a serious lack of emotional support given for that, but at the basic fundamental thing that I think is lacking in our social service programs is an understanding that persons with disabilities deserve just as much attention as everybody else that gets benefits from the government. We want to contribute to society just as much as everybody else, and we are not sitting down and saying that we can't do something because of our disability. We are simply saying that the playing field needs to be equal. That is what I'm saying to you, is that the playing field needs to be equal. I need to be guaranteed a basic minimum income so that I am able to live my life with dignity, so that I do not have to stay at university for 10 or more years because I am scared that I will not be able to get a job when I am finished. And that is currently how I feel. I live in a culture where my friends and my peers and anyone I walk by on this campus is scared that they are not going to get a job anywhere near their area of interest or their field of study when they graduate, that they're not going to be able to make ends meet and that they're going to have to live with their parents. We need a serious infrastructure overhaul into homelessness programs for people across this country so that people are able to live with dignity. And we need programs that support and champion women across the country and that mitigate violence for all minorities and all Canadians in this country. Finally, today I am glad that I can say goodbye to a Prime Minister who equated hard work with those who are wealthy, with those who live in Calgary, with those who saw his ideals of neoliberalism and corporatism as the highest needs above the very basic well-being of Canadians. I am very glad to say goodbye to that Prime Minister today, and I ask you to be the opposite of an autocratic government, to continue your compassionate discourse, to be nonpartisan, and to work not just for your Liberal constituents, but for all Canadians, including women and including people with disabilities. Thank you very much, and congratulations.